Man, thinking back on all those times we had Luigi try to win Mario Party by doing absolutely nothing, it makes me feel a bit guilty, you know? We've had Mario painstakingly dodging star bits, bricks, coins, and attend some serious leg days. But Luigi? He just gets to sit back and relax. Well, today that changes. Today, Mario gets a break. For today, our question is as follows. Is it possible to beat New Super Mario Bros. U while always carrying Mario? So what exactly are our rules for an always carrying Mario challenge anyway? Well, it's pretty straightforward. We'll be playing in 2-player mode as Luigi. As soon as we start any level, we must immediately pick up Mario and not drop him until the very end of said level. I will make exceptions for certain required actions that force Luigi to drop Mario, like entering doors or going through warp pipes, so long as Mario is picked up again as soon as we come out to the other side. Mario and Luigi are both allowed to take damage, but if either die, then we're obligated to pull a Romeo-Juliet maneuver, since coming back in a bubble, or not coming back at all, obviously wouldn't be consistent with always holding Mario. If we can get to the end of the game and beat Bowser while staying in accordance with these rules, then we've got a successful challenge on our hands. So, with all that established, let's get into this. Acorn Plains Way goes pretty smoothly, though we do start to get a feel for some of the limitations constantly holding Mario saddles us with. Luigi's power-ups do nothing aside from making him bigger so we can take an extra hit. We can't double or triple jump, or even wall jump. Additionally, we do need to be a bit more careful on account of being taller than normal. But surely that won't be too big of an issue. Have you ever noticed how low the ceilings are in Tilted Tunnel? Seriously, there are a number of places here that we can't get through unless we keep Luigi and Mario both small. Additionally, sometimes the shifting nature of the tunnel's ceiling can just slap Mario out of Luigi's grasp.
Yoink!
We also discover that we can't climb ladders while holding Mario. But at least that doesn't stop us from finding Tilted Tunnel's secret exits. Which brings us to our highway straight to World 5, Blooper's secret lair. All we've got to do is swim past these bloopers and... we can't carry Mario while swimming. That's a problem. Alright, back to Tilted Tunnel for the normal exit. The only new difficulty taking the standard route entails is the fact that Luigi can't go through this pipe at the end of the level since it's hanging down from the ceiling, and therefore Luigi never touches it. But you know who does touch it? Mario. So when Luigi jumps up to the pipe, we lightly tap up on Mario's controller, putting him through the warp pipe and getting us through to the end of the level. That allows us access to Crushing Cog's tower. So basically, remember the issues we had with the low and moving ceilings in Tilted Tunnel? Yeah, multiply that by about 5 or so, and that's Crushing Cog's tower. Rule 1 of Crushing Cog's tower is to stay small no matter what. Otherwise, many of the gaps you have to squeeze through are literally impossible to squeeze through. Though even if you do stay small, that doesn't necessarily mean it'll be smooth sailing. This cog in particular requires very specific timing and jump height to get through without having Mario unceremoniously ripped from Luigi's arms. Then this crazy section is no joke either. But after all that, we're met with a boss fight that is no problem. Luckily, the next level, Yoshi Hill, is considerably easier. Though we do make the unfortunate discovery that we can't ride Yoshi's while holding Mario. In Rise of the Piranha Plants, we make use of the fact that spin jumping while holding Fire Mario allows us to actually make use of said power-up by shooting some fireballs. This tactic works quite well against the Piranha Plants in this passage, as well as levels Hammer Bros. Then in Lemmy's Swingback Castle, we make use of Squirrel Mario. Because just like with the Fire Flower, we do get the benefits from the Squirrel Acorn, so long as it is Mario who has it. Specifically, we can make use of the gliding as well as the mid-glide boost. This makes level and boss fight a breeze. The first 2 levels of Layer Cake Desert are pretty easy. Our next challenge of note is Stone Slide Tower. This is yet another level that highly encourages you to stay small throughout it. Otherwise, Mario might get knocked from your grasp by one of the titular sliding stones. But then the end of the level leaves us with a bit of a tough philosophical question. Does this warp pipe cannon break our rules or not? Basically, the deal here is that these pipes aren't normal warp pipes. They are cannon pipes. The implication being that upon entering one of them, we aren't whisked off to another screen with Mario by our side, ready to be picked up. Instead, we're launched higher up on the same screen, leaving Mario behind. Now, the silver lining is that the door to the next stage is right here, and can be accessed without killing Mario on account of him falling too far off screen. But even so, I struggle to in good conscience say that leaving Mario behind like this, even if it is only for a few seconds, is in fact in accordance with our rules. Honestly, I'm on the fence about the whole thing, so if you guys have an opinion, why don't you tell me in the comments? Although, it may not actually matter. You see, after beating the first level in Layer Cake Desert, Nabbit ran off to Acorn Plains Way with some stolen goods. Goods we can easily recover by going back to that level. And for our trouble, we receive a P Acorn. The P Acorn gives us the P Squirrel Suit, which is like the regular Squirrel Suit, except for the fact that it can use unlimited boosts before having to land. This is true even when holding Mario, and as such, we can basically just fly up the tower and, as a result, completely ignore the cannon pipes and get on to fighting Boom Boom. Which, big surprise, is no problem. That brings us to Spike Spouting Sands, which I'll admit I find to be quite annoying. I don't really know why. I guess it's just that it's filled with enemies which I find particularly annoying to deal with, like spikes and those green winged Koopas. But hey, really, getting through the level isn't that much of an issue. But that's not good enough, because I want to get to the secret exit. Now that secret exit is hidden right here, through a 1 block tall hidden entryway. Unfortunately, even small Luigi holding small Mario is 2 blocks high. 2 blocks high, with no ability to duck. But that's fine, I'll just be small Luigi holding mini Mario, which still puts us at 1.5 blocks tall. Still with no ability to duck. But no matter, we'll just finish the level like normal, and in so doing, keep the mini Mario power-up, then come back through the level and get Luigi a mini power-up as well, which puts our total height at 1 block tall, thus giving us access to the level's secret exit. But just because we found the secret exit doesn't mean we're necessarily in the clear for taking the shortcut. First, we need to get through the secret level, Piranha Plants on Ice, which is actually pretty easy. Alright, Soda Jungle, give me your worst. The Jungle of Giants is about the same difficulty as normal, and Bridge over Poisoned Waters is actually extremely easy if you get Mario Squirrel Suit. And speaking of Squirrel Suits, you're gonna need a couple for Snake Block Tower. The first half is actually pretty easy. The second half, well, just look. The major issue are these spiky ball pendulums. The expectation is that as they swing back and forth, you'll duck to avoid them. A bit of an issue for us since we can't duck. But like I said, we can use the Squirrel Suit to make up for such a shortcoming. To start with, we must wait to cross the first stretch for the opportune moment, when we can sprint across in one swing of the pendulum. Unfortunately, going back isn't so simple. Without the ability to duck, our only option is to jump off the snake blocks entirely, then boost to get back on. Twice. That gets us to this upper section in which we just end up taking 2 hits straight to the face. Luckily, that's not enough to cause death on account of the fact that we didn't take any damage during the previous section, and the door is right here, leading to another easy Boom Boom boss fight, which follows immediately thereafter. Which Way Labyrinth is extremely easy to get to the secret exit of, if you know where you're supposed to be going, which luckily, I do. Then the level it leads to, Flight of the Parabeetles, is basically no harder than normal. Land of Flying Blocks is made easier by making use of its provided squirrel suits. Unfortunately, those suits make it so we can't get through this gap, due to being, too tall. However, what we can do is wait for the blocks to disappear, and then glide back to the moving platform after that occurs. The seesaw mushrooms in this here level are annoying, especially when they have question mark blocks over them, which can cause Luigi to drop Mario. Oh, and the Lakitu is also annoying. One great way to curb both of these annoyances is by showing up in squirrel suits. It works out pretty well, honestly. This particular corner of Slide Block Tower will almost without fail cause Luigi to drop Mario if you run into it. You can avoid such a fate by simply not slamming against the wall. Still though, it's quite annoying. You've got to be cautious in the next parts, but here is where things truly get dicey again. The issue is these crushing slide blocks. You try running under them with the wrong timing, and there goes Mario. Being small helps since it gives you a larger acceptable window to make your move without losing your bro. That of course means that we're stuck fighting Kamek small, which is annoying, but not impossible. And then comes Spinning Spirit House, where this section is absolutely dreadful. Get too close to the edge and this weird box thing will knock Mario out of your arms. The alternative is staying closer to the middle and taking a hit from the booze. So a bit of a rock and a hard place, really. And things don't get any better in the next room. Here you have to climb some poles to get up to the next door. As a reminder, we can't climb. But what we can do is come into the level with some squirrel suits, and extremely carefully get those suits through the first part without losing them. What that allows us to do is have access to greater height off our jump in this room, thanks to the squirrel suit's ability to bound upwards. That gives us enough lift to reach this false wall and then the door. From here, you'd normally move a spring to get to the secret exit. Of course, we don't exactly have the capacity to pick up a spring right now. Luckily, a squirrel suit works just as well. And there we go. That's the ghost house conquered. Ludwig's clockwork castle goes about as it normally would, and the same applies for boarding the airship. Until we get to the boss fight, that is. As it turns out, being taller than normal mostly just means we're a bigger target for Bowser Jr.'s punches. Additionally, we can't pick up any of his bombs to throw back at him, which means instead we're stuck jumping on his head like some sort of backwards savage. Mostly we just gotta get good to prevail at this fight, though I will say that keeping a healthy distance does help, on account of the fact that it gives you more time to dodge the punches, and a better angle to climb up the arms without having to worry as much about the bombs. That brings us into Peach's castle. As for the levels there, Meteor Moat is about as difficult as normal. Magma River Cruise is harder than normal, on account of the fact that the power-up on offer there is just about useless to us. So it's the Ice Flower, and sure, we can use it to shoot ice balls, but then what? Once we've frozen an enemy, we can't pick them up to throw, nor can we ground pound them to bring about their death. Which is kind of important because the whole gimmick of this level is you gotta get enemies off your platform, and frozen enemies still count as enemies on your platform. But we still have good old jumping to get us through, and get us through it does. Rising Tides of Lava is absurdly easy. And then there's Red Hot Elevator Ride, which treats us to the same issues as Magma River Cruise. Namely that the Ice Flower is useless for it. Adding insult to injury is the fact that this platform stops entirely if there's even just one enemy or coin on it. The Goombas aren't too bad, but the bombs that we can't effectively freeze or pick up prove to be far more concerning. The best way to deal with them is to steer deftly so they don't end up on the elevator in the first place. And when that fails, you can always jump and kick, which is a painfully slow process, especially when multiple land at once. But keep it cool, and it can be done. Bringing us to the final level. The final showdown. Which is extremely easy. Until phase 2 of the boss fight, that is. So here's the deal. Usually, the way to defeat Bowser in this game is by clown copter jacking Bowser Jr., and then using the clown copter to attack Bowser by slamming it down on him. The only issue is that the clown copter is a one-seater. Or in other words, we drop Mario when we board it. So yeah, looks like we can't damage the boss without dropping Mario. So I guess that means the challenge has failed at the final hurdle. Well, I guess there is perhaps another way. If you hit Bowser with an absurd quantity of fireballs, theoretically, that can defeat him. But actually succeeding in such an endeavor is not going to be easy. To start with, our typical way of shooting fireballs in this challenge has been by performing spin jumps. And those spin jumps just so happen to have a very low rate of fire. We can improve that rate of fire by making Mario actually do some work for once, and using his controller to shoot fireballs the normal way. But seeing as I only have two hands like most of humanity, I can't effectively maneuver Luigi while shooting fireballs on Mario's controller, which kind of makes us a bit of a sitting duck whenever we start shooting fireballs in that way. And trust me, Bowser Jr. is more than happy to take advantage of such opportunities. So it's important not to get too greedy with this approach. And then there's Bowser's fireballs, which we have to deal with. The low ones are easy to leap over, but the high ones, I'm getting the impression, were meant to be ducked under. It is possible to jump over them instead, but to get your jump wrong even slightly, and it's straight into the fire with you. And of course, we can't afford to get hit at all in this fight, because we are relying on our Fire Flower to get us through it. And if we lose it, we no longer have any way to damage Bowser. And this is before even mentioning the second phase and beyond, which introduces Bowser Jr. raining down bombs on the arena. which either land straight on you, ending the attempt right then and there, or just simply block the path of your fireballs from getting to Bowser, thereby limiting our ability to actually deal any damage. So yeah, we've certainly got our work cut out for us here. But let's get to it. Seven and a half hours later, we've won. Though we encountered many obstacles in this challenge today, we have overcome each and every one of them, thereby proving that it is possible to beat New Super Mario Bros. U while always carrying Mario. If you like this video, please do consider checking out my other content, such as my New Super Mario Bros. Without touching any bricks challenges. And of course, you may want to subscribe too, as well as leave a comment expressing your thoughts on the challenge. And if you really want to support me, you may want to join my Patreon like these fine individuals on screen, especially the $15 tier patrons, Enigmatic Mr. L and Ashford Says. Or you may want to buy the card game I designed, Time Travel Entertainment Incorporated, from Button Shy Games. But anyways guys, until next time, I have been CMeeCraft, and I will catch you in the next video. Goodbye.